Hello, guys. Welcome once again to Benghazi TV. Active as always here on YouTube. If you're also on TikTok, we are also with you. So subscribe to the channel, like I always tell you, on YouTube, and also why not on TikTok as well. Today we are getting into something that is a bit different from the usual, which ordinarily would have been giving you some updates. Today is different altogether from all of that. Something unique, and I will expect to hear your thoughts on this one on the channel this day onwards. Now, I've been pondering over this for some days now. Ghana have had several talented players over the years. We have seen several great players, footballers I mean, emerge from this country over the years. We have seen they go all the way to winning the African Best Players Awards. We've seen our players from here winning BBC Awards and all over the world. In fact, doing amazing things all over the world. But today on our channel, I want us to just look at this issue or this particular issue here. In the last 40 years, that is to say, if you like, 40 or 45 years, starting from 1980 perhaps, in the last 40 plus years, if I ask you to form your Black Stars 11, who will make your squad? Again, if I ask you to make your Black Stars 11 in the last 40 years, last 2 decades, if I ask you to form your Black Stars 11, which players will make the cut into that squad for you? I'll give you mine, and when we are done with that, then I'll run you also with expecting yours to also come through on our comment section. So you can join us, via our comment section. You can disagree with me, you can agree with me, or share your thoughts, obviously, on what you believe should be Ghana's best 11 all time in the last 40 years, actually, in the last 40 years. Now, for me, I've taken my time to run through those I watched, those I didn't watch, and have read about. I've gone through the archives and I've seen all of that. And this is my personal 11, Ghana 11 in the last 40 years. In goal, I have penned down Richard Olele Kingston. For me, he's been the very best in the last 40 years as far as goalkeeping is concerned for the Black Stars. There were other options that came up. Several goalkeepers' names came up. Abukar Damba, Edward Ansah, Samir J, and a few other names came up. Even Ali Jara, his name came up. But I've looked at Kingston Richard, longevity in a Black Stars team, and what we saw him do for Ghana when he was in go for Ghana. I think that in the last 40 years, without a doubt, best goalie for Ghana is Richard Kingston. Right back, and I'm looking at the defense now. I'm doing a defense of a back four for Ghana's defense. Right back, number 2, Seneca Canada in the years gone by. Several names again have come up. Frank Amankwa, John Pencil, mention the names, but I've gone for the one and only Frank Amankwa. Frank Amankwa back in the days, in the early 90s, was a mainstay for both Black Stars and Kotoko. And I haven't seen any right back in the last 40 years do better than Frank Amankwa. So I will stick my neck out for Frank Amankwa at right back for Ghana in the last 40 years. Left back as well, some names came up, but none of them came bigger than James Kwesi Appiah. James Kwesi Appiah, now coach of Sudan. Left back in the last 40 years, I haven't seen anybody do better than him. So forget about the other names. I've had names like Eben Dugbate, Adogimapo, and a few other names will come up. But clearly for me, Kwesi Appiah's name is up there. That's the man for you. Defensive pair is where I have to really take my time because loads of names came up. Defensive pair, as in the 4 and the 5. I settled on Sami Kufuor, Samuel Osei Kufuor, formerly of Bayern Munich. I think that clearly he's been about one of the best defenders ever produced on the continent of Africa. So clearly for Ghana, one of the best. So Sami Kufuor in there alongside John Mensah. Yes, you heard me right. The Rock of Gibraltar. These two are my defensive partners in the all-time in the last 40 years. Sami Kuffour and John Mensah. Although names like Ama Senegal, Frimpong Manson all came up strongly and deservedly so because these gay guys, I must say, together Tony Buffo, had some great impact when they were playing for the Ghana team in the late 80s, early 90s. But I still think that notwithstanding the presence and the influence from Paul Manson, Ama Senegal, Tony Buffo had on the national team, the Black Stars, I will still stick my neck out for Sami Kuffour and John Mensah to partner in defense for my team. Then midfield, and then midfield is key. I'll go in for a midfield three. Midfield three. So I'm doing a 4-3-3 formation. So midfield three, and that's very hot area. Very hot because Ghana over the years has produced several good midfielders. But I've settled on these three in our midfield for the last 40 years. Three of them. At the base, defensively, I have put Michael Essien. Michael the Bison Essien for me will cut it as a number 6 in this my all-time last 40 years, I should say, on the last 40 years Black Stars team. Michael Essien at the base. Then in front of him, they're going to have two dribbling magicians who work wonders and magic with the ball. And so I've gone in for Abedi Ayu Pele. Pele is the first option I went in for. Then the other option, can you imagine? Mohamed Polo, a dribbling magician. These two are going to play ahead or in front of Michael Essien in midfield. So in midfield three again, I repeat, it's Michael Essien at the base of it, and in front of Michael Essien on each other side is going to be Abedi Ayu Pele for me, Ghana's all-time best player. No debate whatsoever. Together with a dribble magician, that's Mohamed Polo. These three are my midfielders. Then the front three, another area where it was keenly contested because several other names came up as well. But I settled on these three. First of them, first off, it's not a debate at all, is Asamoah Baby Jet Gyan, Ghana's highest goal scorer. In fact, Africa's highest goal scorer at the World Cup. Asa is the man first up, depending on the striking, I should say, for me. So Asamoah Gyan is in there. Then I've got Tony Yeboah, Yagola, as we used to refer to him back in the days, formerly of Frankfurt, Leeds United, and the Black Stars. And of course, Cornerstones as well, and of course United. Tony Yeboah is making my squad. Then the last player, all time in the last 40 years, that I have picked and put in my 11. I know you are going to have an issue with that because you think it's a newbie, perhaps. But the qualities I have seen this young man exhibit, I can't have anyone else in that spot in the final front three and not have him in there. The third person in the front three for me is no other than the very own Mohamed Kudus. Mo Kuku made my squad in the last 40 years, the forwards. Again, Asamoah Gyan, Tony Yeboah, and I will have Mo Kuku, Mohamed Kudus, join them in attack for the Black Stars for the excellence I've seen in him. These are my 11, Black Stars 11 in the last 40 years. If you go to the bench, as in the reserve, there I had goalkeepers Eddie Ansah on the bench. Then defenders John Pencil made that cut for the bench. Then we had Tony Buffo, who captained the Black Stars 92 in the finals. Tony Buffo made a squad as well in defense. Frimpong Manso is in there in defense on the bench. Isaac Asare, left back, in the early 90s, those who watched Black Stars back in the days, from junior football to the senior team. Isaac Asare was one mercurial left back who played with the right foot that we had in our team. So Isaac Asare made my cut back on the bench. Midfielders on the bench as well. Anthony Annan made the bench for me. I mean, number 6 special for the Black Stars. So Anthony Annan made my bench. Then we had Sule Ali Muntari also make my bench in midfield together with Steven Tornado Apia also made my squad, but on the bench. Then the attack 3, I had Andre Dede Ayu make the squad, but on the bench for Ghana. And then we also had former Ghana captain C.K. Akuno. Charles Koblan Akuno also made the squad as a forward, but on the bench, those on the bench as well for me. So these guys made my bench for the last 40 years. If you ask me for the best Black Star squad, these guys are the ones who made my cut. First 11 and those who are going to be also on the bench. So I repeat the first 11 again. Richard Kingston in goal. Right back, Frank Amankwa. Left back, James Kwesi Appiah. Defenders, Sami Kufo and John Mensah. Midfielders, Michael Essien, Abedi Ayu Pele, and also Mohamed Polo. The forwards are Samuel Gyan, Tony Yeboah, and Mohamed Kudus. These are my thoughts. Let's get to hear from you. You agree with me? Disagree with me? Let's hear it. It's my opinion, my view. Share it. Let's get to hear from you as well on the channel. Still here with us. Subscribe to the channel. It is Benghazi TV.